If you've ever found yourself spiraling down a late night rabbit hole of what am I meant to do and why haven't I found it yet? And let's be honest, who hasn't? Then you're in the right place. I'm Theresa White, career clarity expert and 5-time certified career coach, and I'm here to help you navigate the question of how to find a career that truly lights you up. On Career Clarity Unlocked, we're all about those light bulb moments. I'm talking to people who are still trying to figure out what they're meant to do, coaching them live to reach that magical, yes, this is it moment. And we'll also hear from those who've already found their dream careers and figure out exactly how they did it. Whether you're looking for inspiration or actionable advice on finding a career you love, I've got you covered. Time to unlock some career clarity. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Career Clarity Unlocked. Let me start with a question that might hit a little too close to home right now. Have you ever felt like just showing up to work is a betrayal of your values? Like, the world is on fire, climate crisis, reproductive rights under attack, LGBTQ protections being rolled back, and your job? Silent. Or even worse, complicit. Maybe your company cut the DEI team but said, nothing's changing. Maybe you're the only woman of color on your team, juggling 3 people's workload, still underpaid and invisible. Maybe you're clocking in every day and thinking, I'm scared to leave, but I'm more scared to stay. If that sounds like you, stick around, because this episode might just be the lifeboat you've been waiting for. Today, we're diving into top progressive companies in recession-proof industries that are hiring right now. Because here's the truth. Staying in a draining, misaligned job is not stability. It is actually the fast track to burnout, layoffs, and wasted potential. But the good news? There are companies out there doing better, leading with values, thriving while paying people fairly, investing in sustainability, protecting marginalized groups, and actually walking the talk when it comes to DEI. And even better news, they're hiring right now. In this episode, I'll walk you through why values-aligned work matters more than ever, especially when the world feels upside down, which industries are recession-proof and values-forward, the exact companies like Ben & Jerry's, Elevance Health, and Salesforce that are making a real impact and growing like crazy, and how to spot the difference between a company that says it's inclusive and one that actually backs it up. So by the end of this episode, you'll walk away knowing where to look, what to look for, and how to start targeting companies that won't force you to choose between your paycheck and your principles. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, hey there, I'm Theresa White, career clarity expert and 5-time certified career coach, and I'm the only coach on the market who guarantees you career clarity in just 30 days. Since 2020, I've helped over 350 women get out of purposeless and unfulfilling jobs and find meaningful, energizing, values-aligned work that actually lights them up. In this episode, it's going to show you the proof that it's possible and give you a clear, hopeful direction for what is next. Because the companies that are thriving right now, they are actually the ones doing the right thing. Costco didn't gut their DEI programs, and their sales are up. Ben & Jerry's paused ice cream sales in protest of voter suppression. Salesforce dropped $12 million to close racial pay gaps. And guess what? They are not just surviving, they are growing. If any of these describes you, you have to listen to this entire episode. 1, you're burned out and tired of pretending your job still makes sense. 2, you want to use your career as a force for good. 3, you're scared to make a move in this economy, but you know staying isn't safe either. Or 4, you're looking for hope and a plan. We're going to unpack the myth that it's too risky to leave, especially now, and I'll show you why that belief is actually what's keeping you stuck. Because listen, your labor is power. Let's say you're earning $100K a year. That's $100,000 worth of your time, energy, creativity, and genius going into someone else's bottom line. The question is, are they earning it? Do they deserve it? Would you write a 100K check to a company that's doing nothing about the climate crisis? Or one that cut their DEI team? Or stay silent while people's rights are under attack? If not, then why are you handing over your work to them? Your job should feel like a contribution to something you believe in, not a betrayal of who you are. At the same time, I want to say there's absolutely no judgment if this is where you are right now, because I get how hard it is to get out of this situation. But taking the first small step, and I'm going to walk you through all those today, is going to get you into a role that feels so much more aligned. So grab a coffee, get comfy, or pop those earbuds in for your commute, because we're about to get into the companies that are doing it differently. The ones where you can feel proud of where you work, where you're valued, respected, and secure. Yes, even now, or especially now. So we're going to talk about the industries that are weathering the storm, the companies that are actually hiring, and how to get yourself into the room where the future is being built for real. But let's start by talking about the elephant in the room. Because you might be thinking, okay, Theresa, I get that I'm not happy where I am. But have you seen the news? Layoffs, budget cuts, hiring freezes? Maybe now's not the time to shake things up. And yes, I hear you. I really, really hear you. When it feels like the whole world is in crisis mode, it's easiest to think the safest move is no move at all. Just hunker down, put your head down, and ride it out. You might even be telling yourself, I should be grateful I still have a job. And sure, on paper, that job might look secure. But let's pause for a second and get real. What is the cost of staying? Because here's the painful truth I see play out every single day with my clients before they come to me. Staying in a draining, misaligned job is not stability. It's slow motion self-sabotage. You already know that voice in your gut, the one whispering, this isn't right. That voice, it's going to get louder. And trying to ignore it while pretending everything is fine at work, that's not just exhausting, it's actually dangerous. Because that misalignment, it grows. It chips away at your confidence, your creativity, your joy. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. Do you dread Sundays? Do you feel like a shell when you come home from work? Do you find yourself doom scrolling job boards only to shut the laptop 10 minutes later because it feels hopeless? You are most definitely not alone. I've heard it straight from the women I work with every single week. I feel like I'm betraying my values just by showing up to work. They cut our DEI team and then told us nothing was changing. It's gaslighting. I'm the only woman of color on my team, and I'm constantly underpaid and overworked. That's not just a bad week. That's not something a wellness webinar is going to fix. That's a system level misalignment. And staying in the system might feel safe until it isn't. Because the safety you think you have, it's actually an illusion. If your company doesn't share your values, if they've already started slashing budgets and programs that actually support people, do you really think your job is going to be protected when the next round of cuts comes? Here's what I want you to hear loud and clear. You are not stuck. You are ready. You're carrying so much right now, at work, at home, just existing in a world that's been a nonstop news cycle of heartbreak. And the idea of starting over obviously feels impossible. But I promise you, you are not starting from scratch. Experience is experience, very valuable experience. And you're starting from that experience. And you've made career changes before. Some of you during 2008, others during COVID. And yeah, some of those times were rough. So that fear of getting burned again, it's real. But fear doesn't mean don't move. Fear means this move matters. You know what else I hear from my clients before they take the leap? I'm scared of failing and disappointing my family. I don't even know what else I'm qualified to do. The idea of having to connect the dots for employers makes me want to give up. And I get it. The job market feels like a black box right now. And maybe you've already applied to a dozen of jobs and gotten ghosted. Maybe your current role is so intense you barely have time to eat lunch, let alone build a career plan. But what if, instead of trying to apply to everything, you had a focused plan that helped you target the right companies in the right industries? The ones that actually align with your politics, your ethics, your energy, your lifestyle, and your values. Because these companies do exist. And even better, they are hiring. But if you're still stuck in the lie that staying is the responsible thing, you might never see them. Let's go there for a sec. What does responsible actually really mean? Is it responsible to give 40+ hours a week to a company that's gutting DEI while boosting profits for billionaires? Is it responsible to hand over your time, energy, and skills to an employer that won't even acknowledge the climate crisis? Is it responsible to stay stuck in a job that's slowly draining your health, your creativity, and your relationships? No. What's responsible is building a career that supports you, your values, and your future. And the good news? You don't have to quit tomorrow. You just need a plan. A plan to move with intention. To get clear on what you actually want. To stop handing over your labor to companies that don't deserve it. Because, let's be real, your labor is power. If you earn $100K a year, you're basically gifting that value to your employer. Would you give Amazon or Tesla a check for $100K today? No, I definitely wouldn't. So then why give them your work? Your energy is currency. Your skills are leverage. Your career is a vehicle for change. It's not just about a job. It's about being part of the shift. And staying stuck in a misaligned role, that's not neutral. That's voting for the status quo. And if you've been waiting for permission to leave, this is it. It's not reckless to leave a job that's wrecking your well-being. It's not selfish to want alignment. And it's not naive to want impact, peace, purpose, and fair pay, all in one place. I know this sounds like one, but really this is not a fantasy. It's what happens when you build your career on your terms. And in the next section of this episode, I'm going to show you exactly where to start looking. The companies that didn't slash DEI, the ones actively hiring in industries that are recession-proof, future-focused, and values-driven. You'll hear about Ben & Jerry's, Costco, Salesforce, 𝐊𝘐𝑢𝑟𝑒 Health, and more. Because the future of work isn't just about surviving. It's about building something better. Let's go find the places that are doing exactly that. So now that we've talked about why staying in a misaligned job isn't actually the safe bet, it's time for the part that gets people really fired up. Where the heck do you go instead? Like, by now, we very clearly know what we don't want. No more soul-sucking, values-clashing, greenwashing nonsense. But where can we go that feels both secure and meaningful? I've got good news. There's a whole universe of progressive, values-aligned companies that are not only doing the right thing, but they're actually thriving, even in this economy. Yep, you heard me right. These companies are in recession-proof industries and they are actively hiring. So today I'm going to walk you through the top industries that you should have your eye on and the companies within them that are walking the talk. These are the ones where you can bring your full self, get paid well, and be part of something that actually matters. We're going to break this down industry by industry. We're going to start with healthcare. Healthcare is about as recession-proof as it gets. People need care, pandemic, recession, or not. But not all healthcare companies are built the same. There are a couple of companies that stand out as being progressive. Those companies include the Cigna Group. They're investing in inclusive health plans, including gender-affirming care and robust mental health coverage. Plus, they're hiring in customer service, IT, and healthcare management. Then we have 𝐊𝘐𝑢𝑟𝑒 Health. This one's a favorite. They pledged $100 million to reduce health disparities in marginalized communities. That's not lip service, that's action. They're hiring telehealth specialists, data analysts, and nurses. And then there's Humana. Ranked number 1 in LGBTQ plus workplace equality for over a decade by the Human Rights Campaign. Yep, over a decade. They've got openings in IT and case management right now. This is the place to look if you're mission-driven and want real job security. The second industry I want to talk about are the utilities. Power, water, waste management. These are essential services that keep society running no matter the state of the stock market. There are a couple of progressive employers that you need to know about. One of them is Eversource Energy. They are aiming for carbon neutrality by 2030. Let that sink in. They're currently hiring project managers, engineers, and sustainability experts. Next up, we have Avangrid. Focus on 100% clean energy by 2035. That's legit climate action. Open roles there include energy operations and sustainability-focused positions. Next up, we have American Water Works Company. They're all about equitable access to clean water. Not only are they environmentally cautious, but they are deeply community-oriented. Think engineering, customer service, and environmental science roles. Next up, Waste Management Inc. Yep, trash, but make it progressive. They're big on recycling, reducing waste, and innovation. Hiring now for drivers, logistics experts, and environmental engineers. Utilities are quietly one of the most future-proof sectors out there. The third industry we're going to go into is food and beverage. Essential goods plus bold values can be the perfect combo for you. And there are some companies that are truly doing it right. We're going to start it off with Ben & Jerry's. I loved when they passed ice cream sales in Georgia to protest water suppression. I mean, come on. And they offer 6 months of paid paternal leave and climate advocacy programs. They are hiring in social impact, marketing, and more. And then we obviously have Costco. Have you seen how long the lines are lately? Oh my God, I'm loving it. Their starting wage is $25 an hour. They offer full benefits for part-time workers, and they just donated $50 million to food banks last year. They're hiring across the board, supply chain, HR, operations, you name it. And then we have the Hershey's Company. I not just love chocolate, but they've also made big moves in supporting women in leadership and diverse suppliers. They're hiring from marketing pros, production supervisors, and supply chain analysts. So this industry is stable and actively pushing for social justice. Next up, we got the industry that includes medical equipment and services. The future of healthcare is tech-enabled and innovation-heavy, and these companies are doing it with purpose. Progressive leaders in this space include Medtronic plc. They're focused on global healthcare access and strong internal DEI programs. They're hiring engineers, clinical specialists, and R&D pros. Next up, we have Abbott Laboratories. They've got programs to advance women in STEM. Yes, please. Roles available in diagnostic and health innovation. And then we've got Boston Scientific Corp. They always get top marks for LGBTQ equality, and they're hiring regulatory affairs specialists, clinical trial managers, and engineers. We've got more coming. The next industry you need to know about are pharmaceuticals and biotech. Yes, even big pharma can be progressive. Some of them, definitely not all of them. But here are some that are truly good companies to work for. We're going to start it off with Merck & Co. Inc. They are working globally to reduce health disparities with nonprofits like Gavi. They are hiring scientists, policy advocates, and marketing talent. Then we have Gilead Sciences Inc. They are known for the HIV research and community outreach to marginalized groups. They are hiring in clinical trials, CSR, and R&D. And then there's Bristol Myers Squibb Co. They're heavily investing in employee resource groups, supporting veterans, women, LGBTQ+, Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And they're hiring lab techs, biostatisticians, and more. We're not done yet. I have more coming for you. Another industry that is quite recession-proof is software. It's still a really strong bet, and even more so if you're looking for remote work. And there are some really ethical tech trailblazers. And those include Salesforce.com. And they just spent $12 million last year to close racial pay gaps. They're hiring in DEI program management, AI ethics, and all the usual software roles. And I'm sure you know Adobe. They offer social justice sabbaticals. How cool is that? They're hiring UX designers, cybersecurity experts, and cloud developers. And then we've got Workday. Known for their deeply inclusive culture and HR tech innovation, they're hiring engineers, data, and more. We got 2 more industries coming. The second to last I want to mention are personal products. Yes, beauty is essential too, especially when companies are leading with heart. And the beauty industry generally does really, really well during recessions because it's those small luxuries that people can still afford. There's e.l.f. Beauty, and they just pledged $1 million to mental health initiatives for youth, and they're hiring marketing and product design pros. And then we have Colgate-Palmolive Company. They are sustainability leaders in the space. Think brand strategists and supply chain roles. Last but not least, we have the internet. The internet isn't going to go away. A critical infrastructure in any economy, and some companies are using their platforms for good. There's Alphabet Inc., which is Google, spending about $100 million annually on racial equity initiatives. They're hiring for AI ethics, cloud, and engineering. We have Akamai Technologies. They have a really strong DEI program for underrepresented groups, and they're hiring cybersecurity analysts and cloud infrastructure engineers. And then there's Ancestry.com. They do a lot of equity audits and storytelling for social impact. And they are hiring data scientists and UX people. So now I know that was a lot. But what I really want you to take away is that you do not have to choose between paying your bills and making a difference. Companies like Costco, Elevance Health, and Salesforce prove that you can have your values and stability. And these aren't just good intentions. They are good business moves and good career moves for you. Last year, I worked with a client of mine. Her name was Jamie. She was stuck in a marketing role at a company that said nothing while the world was on fire. She wanted out, but she was scared. She felt like she'd have to give up her career to find meaning. Spoiler alert, she didn't. She pivoted into the food and beverage industry, Ben & Jerry's, yep. And now she's using her marketing skills to advocate for social justice in a stable, values-driven company. She said, "I'm finally using my skills for good, and I sleep better knowing my job is secure." That's possible for you as well. So next up, I'm going to show you how to find these companies, even when they're not screaming progressive from the rooftops. You will learn how to spot the real ones, how to align your personal brand to stand out, and how to finally start applying with confidence. Let's get you hired at a place that actually deserves you. Okay, so far we established 2 big truths. 1, staying in a misaligned job isn't the safe move. And 2, there are progressive, recession-proof companies hiring right now that actually deserve your time, energy, and genius. Now it's time for the part where we connect those dots. Because knowing these companies exist is great. But how do you actually find them? And more importantly, how do you stand out when you do? So now I'm going to show you how to position yourself as a high-impact, values-aligned candidate and the simple tweaks that you can take on your resume, LinkedIn, and job search strategy to take it from meh to magnetic. Step 1 is to spot the real progressive companies. Not every company that says diversity or climate action on their website actually backs it up. Some are all bark, no bite. So how do you tell the difference? a great place to start is to check their DEI reports. And you want to look for specific measurable goals like increase Black leadership by 30% by 2026. No vague promises, no fluffy paragraphs about belonging. We want to see actual targets. Companies like Principal Financial Group are super transparent about this, for example. And then follow the money. There's a really cool website. It's called opensecrets.org, where you can see where a company donates to politically. So you can find out if they're funding climate action, reproductive rights, voting access, or are they quietly slipping checks to the anti-LGBTQ PACs while flying a rainbow flag in June? And then you talk to people, or when you are in interviews, you want to ask questions. Be direct. Ask questions like, how did your company respond to the Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action? The real ones will tell you how they doubled down on equity, like Medtronic did, for example. The fake ones? Yeah, you will hear it in the awkward silence that's going to follow your question. And that's okay. They might not like the question, but that means it's just not the right company for you. Then look at the benefits. Do they offer gender-affirming healthcare? Do they offer paid parental leave for everyone? What does their mental health support look like? Because those aren't just perks. They are proof of values in action. And then look at their leadership and at their ERGs. How does the leadership team look like? All white guys? Do we see some diversity there? Do employee resource groups get budget and visibility, or are they just window dressing? When you vet companies through a values-first lens, you don't just avoid toxic work. You will actually find places where you actually thrive. And then the next step, the career clarity formula. Because this isn't just about finding a better job. It's really about creating a career that aligns with your politics, your ethics, your energy, and your long-term goals. And this is exactly why I built my coaching program, the Career Clarity Formula. It is a proven step-by-step system that gives you a clear actionable path from I'm stuck to I'm finally doing work that matters. So I want to break down how the Career Clarity Formula works in action. It works in 3 phases. Phase 1 is clarity. This is where we're going to cut through the noise. You'll get crystal clear on your values. What do you want your labor to support or not support? Your strengths and transferable skills, your ideal work environment. And once you're clear on who you are and what you believe in, everything else falls into place. You're going to stop wasting time on companies that just look shiny but feel wrong, and you start targeting places that light you up. Then we're moving into phase 2, personal branding. This is all about positioning you as the ideal candidate for the roles you are targeting. Because now that you know who you are, we want to make sure that the world does too. So we'll craft a compelling personal brand that tells your professional story in a way that screams, I'm a mission-driven, high-impact candidate, and here's why you want me on your team. This is where we're going to update your LinkedIn headline, and we're going to add keywords like DEI, sustainability, ethical tech, whatever aligns with your target industry. We're going to work your resume and use values-driven bullet points like led cross-functional team to reduce carbon footprint by 18%. We're going to work on your elevator pitch so that you can confidently talk about your pivot without spiraling into, I don't know how to explain my background, I'm lost. This is the stuff that gets you noticed and remembered. And then phase 3 is the job search strategy. Now that your brand is tight and your clarity is on point, let's get you the job. And we are most definitely not going to do the spray and pray method here. We're focusing on strategic, values-aligned outreach to the right companies in the right industries. So here's what that looks like in practice. We're going to start by identifying 15 to 20 companies from your personal yes list. And I have a downloadable spreadsheet with over 100 progressive, recession-proof companies hiring right now. Just saying. We're going to follow them on LinkedIn. We're going to set up alerts. We're going to start networking with intention, commenting on posts, engaging with employees, sending personalized messages that connect your values with theirs. And then we're going to apply strategically. with a tailored resume, a crystal clear cover letter, and a story that shows just how aligned you are with this company. And this doesn't have to take forever. That's the beautiful thing. Jamie, that client I told you about earlier, she landed her new job at 𝑘𝐨𝐮𝐵 in under 90 days, without starting over, without watering herself down, without taking a pay cut, without burning out in the process. The next step is to take small aligned action, and I want you to start that this week. So if you're listening to this and you're starting to feel inspired but overwhelmed at the same time, don't worry, I've got you. Start with one of these steps this week. 1, update your LinkedIn headline to reflect your values. Something like marketing leader, DI advocate, sustainability-focused storyteller is really impactful. Then identify 5 companies that excite you and research their DEI initiatives. Next up, rewrite just 1 bullet point on your resume to reflect impact and alignment. And if you're up for it, join an ERG or volunteer for a social impact project at work. This shows leadership and values in action. And if you can, ask a mentor, colleagues, your friends, your family, everyone you know, which companies do you know that are values forward and hiring? The more people you ask, the more companies you're going to be adding to this list. And these tiny steps are going to lead to major momentum. Because you're not just looking for a paycheck, right? You're looking for a place where your work feels like a contribution, not a compromise. And truly, you deserve to wake up excited. You deserve to feel proud of where you work. And you can have impact and income in the same role. You just need the roadmap. And that's exactly what this is. We've covered a lot today. So let me give you a quick recap. 1, staying in a draining, misaligned job might feel like the safer choice, but truly it is not. It's a fast track to burnout, invisibility, and wasted potential. 2, there are progressive companies in recession-proof industries hiring right now. Companies like Ben & Jerry's, Elevance Health, Medtronic, and Costco that are walking the talk on DEI, climate, LGBTQ+ rights, and economic justice. 3rd, and yes, you can find a role where you're paid well, treated with respect, and aligned with a mission that matters. You just need the right tools, strategy, and support to get there. Because your labor is power, and where you give it matters. As I said before, I wouldn't hand over a $100,000 check to Amazon or Tesla today. And if you feel the same, then maybe it's time to stop handing them your work, your skills, your energy, your experience, your knowledge. You deserve to give all of that brilliance to a company that actually deserves and earns it. So here's your next step. Go ahead and book a free consultation call with my team. This isn't just a discovery call, it's a career clarity call. We will talk you through where you're feeling stuck, what alignment really looks like for you, and how to build a custom plan to move forward without burning out or starting over. Because you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to guess your way through another job search or keep refreshing LinkedIn hoping the right opportunity magically appears. You deserve clarity, confidence, and a concrete path to a career that actually feels like you. Head over to the link that you'll find in the show notes and grab your spot today. And if you're still on the fence, here's what I want you to ask yourself. What's going to change if I don't do anything? Where will I be 6 months from now if I just keep waiting for things to feel less uncertain? Spoiler alert, the system isn't going to suddenly become more stable. Not looking good for 2025 on that front, but you can become more equipped, more clear, more strategic, more in charge of your career. Because the people who first make this change, they get the lifeboats. The ones who stay too long, they'll be the ones left scrambling when the layoffs hit, when the culture turns toxic, when the brand implodes. And if you're worried about quitting during a downturn, let me reframe that for you. You are not quitting. You're voting. You're voting with your time, with your talent, with your labor. You're choosing not to be complicit anymore. You're choosing to stop betraying your values at work. You're choosing to stop wasting your potential on companies that don't deserve you. And I know that decision can feel scary, but you don't have to leap alone. That's exactly what the Career Clarity Formula is here for. So go book your call, let's map it out, let's turn your career into a force for good. And hey, if this episode gave you that spark of hope, or if you know someone stuck in a role that makes them feel invisible or conflicted, please share this episode with them. Seriously, send it right now. Let's spread the word about the companies doing it right and help more people find work that feels like truth. And next week, you're going to be in for something special. It's going to be one of those behind-the-scenes, fly-on-the-wall episodes where I'll be doing a live coaching session with someone just like you. Someone who's ready for clarity but isn't sure how to get unstuck. You'll hear exactly what it sounds like when we map out someone's next chapter in real time. And I promise, it's going to be equal parts inspiring, practical, and juicy. I cannot wait for you to experience that. Until then, remember that your career is in your hands. See you next time on Career Clarity Unlocked. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Career Clarity Unlocked. If you're feeling stuck in that what's next spiral and are ready to finally break free, let's chat. You can book your free Career Clarity call where we'll uncover what's really important to you, tackle any obstacles holding you back, and map out your best next step. Schedule your free 30-minute call today on careerbloomcoaching.com. And before you head out, be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so you never miss an episode. If today's conversation gave you new insights and inspiration, please leave a review. It really helps us reach more amazing listeners like you. And don't forget to share this episode with a friend or on social media. Your support truly means the world. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.